early this morning on a day when you might normally be sleeping in. And welcome to Chicago Voices. So in master classes, we've saved the best for last, I think, because I am a huge, huge fan of this man. I've been listening to him and following his career for a really long time. In fact, I had the pleasure of hearing him sing when he was Chicago-based and at the Green Mill on a regular basis. But he's since then taken over the world by storm, as you all know. He is probably our country's most valued jazz vocalist, certainly male jazz vocalist, and from what I hear, a brilliant teacher. So I'm going to stay too and watch. Please welcome Kurt Elling.
Hello, everybody. Everybody feeling okay? I'm kind of fighting a thing in addition to the headlines. Trying to just maintain a peaceful mind. Well, beautiful. So I guess we've got 4 singers today. Are you all? It's right down here. Beautiful. I'm going to meet you all, and we've got a bunch of other grown-ups and stuff. Thank you. Wow, that is nice. All right. Well, let's see. Unlike you, I did not go to school to study music. I was a history major and a religion minor, and I was at a liberal arts place, and so I don't have a lot of the advantages that you're giving yourselves by being here. So bravo. Choosing it early, it's a big deal, but you're still going to have, as you know, a long road to go down. And many of the things that are the most important things can't be taught in school as such, can't be taught by me, by anybody. You're going to have to figure them out for yourselves. The best classroom is performing. The best classroom is whether people are listening or not. You're in a room and there's people and you're trying to deliver your music, your best thing, in collaboration with people that you're, pulling into your orbit, and they're pulling you into their orbit. Sometimes the most important gigs are the ones where nobody's listening, and you're over in a corner in a restaurant, and you figure something out, and it's musical. Or you figure something out, and people start to listen because you've been able to engage with them in a judicious and welcoming kind of a way, and they actually dig it. Wedding gigs can be a big deal because you need to learn just how to present in front of people, how to be comfortable, how to feel like you belong. Here I am standing on the stage, and I don't have to worry about stuff because I've done it 1,000,000 times. So for you to do it 1,000,000 times, you need to get started and do it the 3rd time, and the 4th time, and the 5th time. So wedding gigs are a big deal, even if it's not the music that you feel like you want to do. As a working musician, in my opinion, whether you are going to go the route of opera or jazz or writing your own stuff in genreless or new genre, the more time that you have in front of working with a band, collaborating with musicians, in front of an audience, as I say, whether they listen or not, that's the thing. Because if you're smart enough, curious enough, courageous enough, paying attention enough, and doing your homework enough, then all the questions, all the individual questions that you might have in your mind, you'll get answers to them. Because either it'll click in your mind from experience, or somebody will pull your coat and they'll say, oh, hey, man, this. Or you'll be smart enough to ask older musicians questions. And it won't just be happenstance, right? You're going to want to know about singing. You're going to want to know about piano playing, the piano. You're going to want to know why. And that's part of why you're here now. I remember I was on a gig one time, and there was another singer, and the saxophone player, this was a long time ago now, saxophone player, and he's changing his readout, and this person, she's like, what does that do? Wow, okay, well, you got a little bit more road to go down then. You don't even know what a reed does for a saxophone. Let's get in the mix, all right? So, experience. That's the road that I took. I sat in. I had a thing where I would do, was it? Monday night at the Green Mill, Tuesday night with Von Freeman down at the new apartment, Wednesday night at Alexander Steakhouse, Thursday night I was up at this place in Oz, Friday night I was checking out whoever was in town. Making the scene, big deal. Learning from the cats in that way. So the experience of being in it, in addition to what you're learning here, which is important. So, jazz, you've fallen in love with a sound. You've fallen in love with a particular kind of rhythmic feeling and a particular kind of expressive, improvisational melody creation. That's what jazz is. It's melody creation in real time, in front of an audience, in collaboration with other musicians, trying to play a melody that you and potentially no one has ever played before. Combination of notes that makes a melody. That's what improvisation in jazz is about. We're going to talk about how hard that is and what has to happen for that to be the case. I'm going to try to keep this to about 15 minutes. Because you're talking about improvisation, you're talking about a spirit of fearlessness, or at least overcoming your fear, which is something that a lot of people aren't ready to do, right? People are afraid, even if they practice a thing 100 million times, to deliver exactly that thing in front of an audience. Usually that's because they haven't actually done it 100 million times. They've only done it 6 or 7 times, and so they're worried about specific parts. If you're still worried about a specific part, then you need to have rehearsed that part so that you're not afraid of it anymore. Then you're not afraid of it. You've fallen in love with an ethos of urbanity, the urban knight. You have fallen in love with a way of dressing, a way of walking, a way of greeting other people. You've fallen in love with a community of people that is racially mixed and diverse and is going to challenge each person comes in with something new. I have something to offer. You have something to offer. It's the best possible American experience because we're here to treasure each other's individuality. And I don't have what you have, and you don't have what I have. Let's see what comes of that. That is as much a thrill as anything. You've fallen in love with a family of the smartest, funniest, and most compassionate artists to have ever walked the planet. Funny because you can hear it in the music, the jokes that Ben Webster tells on his saxophone. The smartest because of John Coltrane and figuring out the incredible mathematical nature of certain kinds of lines. The most compassionate because of the people like Jon Hendricks who embrace every person who comes into their orbit. And it comes out in the music. It comes out in the way that they sound and the things that they write, the things that they sing, the choices that they make. And you can hear it in the music. I'm touring with Branford Marsalis right now. We've been out for about a year. And I know that he has a reputation for being really hard to, I guess, get along with or opinionated or something. But I'll tell you, he is the most kind and generous and embracing friend that I've made in the last 20 years. I just completely knocked out by how he approaches it. And it's because we have the common thing, which is the music. So a jazz singer. These are going to allow you, we're going to talk about the two sides of your brain. All right? So first you've got your instrument. One of the things you're going to want to develop is what you sound like. Who you sound like. What is the best physiological adaptation for you to grow into for what God has given you? The shape, the size, all the parts. That's going to be its own discipline. And over time, it's going to change. Male voice doesn't really come into itself until 35, 36, 37 years old. Then you're going to sound like what you sound like. Right now, you're still growing into it. Then, of course, if you keep growing older, then you keep changing all that stuff. So your instrument's the first thing that you're working with, but your ears are the thing that brought you to the music in the first place, right? And your ears are the thing that you need to be depending on more than any other thing. When you're doing work in the studio, learning a new song, wow, I still didn't do that right. How do you know? Because you hear it. I'm still out of tune. How do you know? Because you hear it. It still doesn't sound as much like Blossom Dearie or Betty Carter as I'd like. How do you know? Because you can hear that it's not the same. But you got to trust that. And you got to pay more attention to your hearing than to any other thing. These people who come to music school and they work out all these patterns on saxophone, or they work out all these patterns on piano, and they work out all these patterns and stuff. The mathematical thing is great, but it's only going to get you so far, because that's not really melody in the same way as what's happening if you use your ear first, because your ear goes straight into your brain, straight into your heart, and it leads you back through history to all the great singers and musicians who have come before. The mathematical stuff kind of pre-exists. It's one of the ways that Train, I don't know, I don't want to say misled, because Train wasn't leading anybody, he was just being himself. People followed up on Train's innovations by getting so hyper-mathematical that now the audience doesn't get to feel very much, because it's math, and it's just patterns, and it's no fun for anybody, really. Your music shouldn't have to come with a thesis statement. Your music should be because you got something to sing, and that's what you're going to offer, and it's going to make people feel better. It's going to make you feel better. So your ears, your instrument, and then your brain, of course. And you've got the two sides of your brain. You've got the analytical side, and you've got the intuitive side of your brain. They both need to be developed. The analytical side is the side that works on patterns. Fair enough. It's an important thing. Understanding music theory as much as you can, right? Analyzing with notation what great players have done. However, some of the most important gestures and motions and things that have been played in jazz can't be notated. You can't really notate a swinging feel. It just doesn't mean anything on the page. And this is why when you put it into a computer, what would be a swinging notation, it still sounds shitty. Because you can't actually notate it. Okay, that's a real thing. Getting the patterns on the analytical side, understanding the math, that's important. The intuitive side is the side that wants to sing melodies right now. It's the impetuous side, yeah? It's the side that makes you want to run before you can. Little kid, when he's first learning how to walk, no, I want to go for, and boom, there they fall. So they got to master the mechanism. That's the analytical side. How do my muscles do this thing? The intuitive side wants to paint. We're going to probably work with some of that today, because that's something that we can access pretty quickly, yeah, if you're brave enough. So, as I say, the history of, it's the two sides of your head, analytical and intuitive. You want them to be equally proficient, equally developed, and not leave either one behind. Set that to a side, because we're going to get to all these points today. Then you have the history that you've fallen in love with. If you've fallen in love with swinging jazz music, you've fallen in love with a history of individualists, people who figured out all of these things that we've talked about. What's best for Jon Hendrix's voice? What is going to get him over with the crowd? What's his level of innovation? What is his specific gift that he can bring? Joe Williams, what can he do that nobody else can do? Right? Bobby McFerrin, what does he bring that nobody else has brought? These are the kinds of discussions that you should be having among your friends, getting into arguments about who was the best at something, right? Because this is the stuff. And what's more, and again, back to our ears, there's so many parts where one thing plugs into another thing. You've got to use your ears to cop what the great innovators who have preceded you have been able to do. The number of times I listened to Sinatra be able to do a thing, and then, well, how did he breathe to get that to happen? How did he stand to get that to happen? How long did he hold that note? Can I sing exactly that thing that he sang? Can I sing exactly that lick that Betty Carter plays? What do I have to do to get that to happen? Why? Because you want to have a family resemblance in your sound. You know, when you're a little kid and you come over and somebody says, oh, you look just like Uncle Joe. When he would do that thing and you felt so proud, because you want to be like Uncle Joe because Uncle Joe's cool. One of the ways that you'll get the most appreciation from the musicians is if you have done that part of your homework. All these things are matters of getting it in your head, getting it in your heart, getting it in your voice so that it's muscle memory, so that it's not conscious anymore. When people come up to me and they say, wow, I can hear Johnny Hartman in there. Thank you. Wow, I can hear so-and-so in there. Thank you. Why? Because I want all that stuff in there. Many times young people are more focused on, well, I want to find my sound. I want to develop my sound. I want to do my thing. Well, you don't have anything. There's no your thing to do yet. Yeah, there's no your thing. You haven't done, you haven't even, woo, so many things, right? So many things, so many books to read, heartbreak, surviving, overcoming things, overcoming your fear, overcoming yourself, maybe being broke, taking chances, failing, coming back from it. That's the stuff that's not even musical, and yet it is all part of who you're going to be. And ultimately what we hope is that the sound that you come out with takes all these things that I've very quickly scattershottedly thrown at you, right? And that they will all be developing over time by your choice. What's that thing they say? Eventually, when you get old enough, your youth body becomes your truth body. If you've taken care of yourself, and you're not smoking cigarettes, and you're not overeating a bunch of junk, and you're not blah, blah, and you're exercising, when you get to be a certain age, you're going to go to the college reunion, and you're going to say, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with this. This is good for me, because that's the truth, because you flossed. So you've got your own teeth, right? As opposed to however it comes around for whomever, and God bless them, not so much. Same thing is true of your sound over time. You go out boozing after the gig, truth body, gonna come get you the next day. This stuff, why? Ugh. I got a little cold today. I gotta sing a certain way so that on the next gig, I can continue to make the thing. But all these things that I've talked to you about scattershottedly, it's the homework. And musicians are gonna know straight away whether you've done it or not. Because you're gonna not have an ingredient that is automatically part of what they're doing. So that you can walk into any room. So here I've been out here for 20 years now, whatever, and charts and all that. But you gotta be able to walk in and say, all right, Blackbird, F. 1, 2, 2 feel. Pick up my Karen, whoa, here I go, swinging low. To where someone waits for me, sugar sweet, so is she. No one here can never try to understand me here. Know what hard like stories they your hand in me. Make my bed, light my light, and I'll arrive late tonight. Blackbird, fare thee well. So bye bye, bye bye, bye bye. Fare thee well. Fare thee well, I tell you, fare thee well. I'll pack up my care and woes and spread my wings a spell. Sick of city lights, lot of blues, lot of strife. So blackbird, 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 talking about bye-bye. Ain't no one here can love or understand. I can see pretty clear, everybody here got a story everywhere. So you better make my bed up, lighten up my light, blackbird pipe, I'm coming home. I booked my flight and I'll arrive late tonight. Chapel place, boogie do, so please do, skis, do, so do, 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 do. skittle do, yeah. Skittle do, skittle that pets yo. Blackbird, talking about my blackbird, picking up my carrying pole, packing up and here I go. Hey, this is a blackbird, spy et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, historian, scientist, poet, because you're going to want to write your own stuff, right? Artiste. Complete picture. You able to sing your heart to people with perfect clarity. No distractions. We're going to work on all those things today. I know it's a lot to take in, but they're recording it, so you can write them all down one at a time later on. All right, so who's first today of the people who are singing? Did I have a list? I do have a list. Otherwise, I'll just tell you. I also want to say Miguel de la Serna, playing piano. We have been down a road together. We have been down a road together. Well, Andrea Meza. Yeah? Beautiful. Andrea Meza, hey, all right. I got a little thing I'm trying to. Right on?
Thank you for looking out for me.
Don't want anybody to get hurt, upset. All right, so what are you going to sing for us today?
Suddenly, in walked Bud.
Okay, now, a couple of ground rules for everybody. One, nobody's getting discovered today. That's not what this is. This is a learning environment. We are all friends. We are not showboating. We are here to do our best for each other and for the music, and I'm going to help you in any way that I can. Miguel, God bless him, does not need any solos because we got a limited amount of time. Look at that. I already bloviated for half an hour. Beautiful. If you're going to scat, one chorus will do. If you're not, beautiful. Have you guys all played these tunes with Miguel?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's prepared like that. Yeah. So it's not you're not walking in cold. Okay. Let's find out.
Dizzy, he was screaming. Next to OP, who was beaming. Monk was thumping. Suddenly in walked Bud. Then the joint started jumping. Buyers played a mean sax. Mr. Max Roach beat a mean axe. Monk was thumping. Suddenly in walked Bud. Then the joint started jumping. Every hip stud really dug Bud. Susie in town, aching that nobody wrote, putting him down. Dizzy, he was screaming. Next to OP, who was beaming. Monk was thumping. Suddenly in walked Bud, and then the joint started jumping.
That's it?
You said no.
Oh,
you said no
scat.
solos, right?
No solo from him.
Okay.
Solo from
no
you.
solo from him. Okay, I got it.
Take
You
it
wanna
from there.
take from- He was screaming. Next to OP, who was beaming. Monk was thumping. Suddenly in walked Bud, and then the joint started jumping. Sa-do-de-do-de, fa-do-de-de-do-de, su-de-little, su-de-little, fa-boo-ba-boo-le, su-little, sa-boo-boo-boo-de-lu-de-lu-de. Every hip stud really dug Bud. Susie in town. Every hip stud really dug Bud. Susie in town. Dizzy, he was screaming. Next to OP, who was beaming. Monk was thumping. Suddenly in walked Bud, and then the joint started jumping.
So, its power for the audience is going to come from you delivering a certain amount of that. It's not a deep thought song. It's a happy, jumpy thump. Let's go and do 15 choruses apiece kind of a thing. Yeah? Oh, sorry. I got such a big mouth, I'm just used to using it. So, because this is a vehicle, I'm going to encourage you to, okay, so, a couple of small things first. First of all, excellent, overall. Second, you move the microphone stand way over there, which is great. Get it out of the way. You don't want any impediments, if you can help it, between you and the audience. Not a microphone stand, not your eyeglasses, not anything. You want to have everybody have access to your thing, and you have access to them, whether it's a blowing thing or whether it's just, or whether it's an emotional experience song. You want everybody in the pool. You are the vehicle, and so your heart and your voice and everything needs to be full access. Second of all, this is just a little bit of this. There's a very common thing that singers do, and it's this with the left arm. Like there's a shelf that they're resting there all night long. They'll be, yes, this, and this, and I'm talking to the audience, and I seem really very relaxed, but my arm, I fractured my wrist some 14 years ago, and it still just rests like, no. Yeah? Full access to the audience means that you're vulnerable to them. And this is one of the signs of invulnerability. Why? Because what's behind here? Your heart is right here. It's one of the biggest reasons why singers, this. Just in case somebody starts to throw stuff, right? Right? So, the looseness, again, this is going to be something that comes in time. Something to be aware of, however. Here's what we're really going to work on because this is a blowing vehicle. Those are the small things. The big thing is, how do we construct melodies? How do we learn to construct improvised melodies so that when we get up, we're prepared, but we're not just quoting ourselves? We talked a little bit before about the two sides of your head, the intuitive side and the analytical side. Your intuitive side, you've got some really good ideas. When you first started, you did, just give me the 1, 2, 3, 4. You said, right? That was where you started. Two good notes. And then after that, you sort of did a, which is an idea that is not yet developed. Your intuitive side said, I want to do a gesture. See, because people talk about shapes in the music, it's not shapes in the music. Music happens in time. Right now there's no music. Right now there's music. Now there's no more music. It happens in time. Therefore, they're not shapes. A shape is a static idea. It's gestures in the music, right? So the gesture you wanted to make, and therefore they have analogs in what you could dance or what you could paint. Right? But you want your to mean something. So you slow down and you say, all right, well, if my intuitive side says, I want to sing something that has this effect, I have to choose specific notes. So now, let's say that we're in rehearsal together. You're going to take the half a chorus that you did, and you're going to sit down at the piano, and you're going to say, all right, well, what did I sing? You're going to listen back. You're going to do some version of a transcription of yourself, and then you say, well, what would I have played in an ideal world? If I had my choice and I could do it again, and I could stop time, and I could make every choice, what hip notes would I choose? And then you start to create. You start to, thank you. You start to create, you start to be a composer. Improvising musicians have all the same questions to answer as a composer. Many notes, few notes, high notes, low notes, loud or soft, when to take a breath. All the parts, what notes. It's just that you have to do all those decisions in real time, in front of an audience, in collaboration with other musicians. You have to be a composer. So it's not random, and it's not just your intuitive side. It's informed by compositional thinking. So here's what you're going to do. We're going to take it slower. One of the biggest parts of learning improvisational stuff is going slowly as you need to, until you get it locked in. So same tune, and you're going to scat, and you're going to start from the same idea, very simple idea, and I want you to wait and listen until you can choose specific notes and specific ideas, and nothing too scattershotty, frantic, for the sake of effect. You're really going to listen for melodies and play those, okay? And don't freak out if you play a wrong note, because part of the exercise is, again, you go back to the piano and you say, okay, well, I wish that note would have been this note, not this note, right? So you're listening to yourself. A 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but your first idea is start with that and come back to that idea again and again, but with variations on that idea. Okay? 2, 3, 4. You keep short like that. Okay, so let's stop right there. Right where we were, where the chords change up on you, yeah? Where you can't play the same kinds of ideas. So you got to be aware of where you are in the song. Obviously, you got to be making choices. Give me the 4 bars right at that spot.
That was the last day?
Yeah, the last 8. 2, 3, 4. Ba-dee-dee, ba-dee-dee, be-dee, ba-dee-dee, be-dee. See, you always have to know where you are in the song. Some of it's obvious, but you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
The more you develop, so you start with just one small idea. You do variations on it. You go back to the piano or the guitar and you say, what would I sing in an ideal world? Then you start to ask yourself, it's the obvious question, what did Miles play? Well, I don't know. What did he play right there at that difficult place in the song? Or what did Train play? Or what did my favorite person sing? Or what have you? Put that in to your thing. Put it into your thing. I don't know what to do there. I don't know well, then steal from the rich. Put it in, because what you want to develop over a lifetime is a library of ideas and gestures and muscle memory that's in here, and in here, that you will access without conscious effort. Because of the structure of chords in the music in so many of the great American standards, there are similarities in every song in the structure. So something that you have tried out and worked up for one song is going to work in 50 other songs. Now again, I'm not saying you're consciously quoting yourself. I'm saying when you have done quoting yourself and writing the stuff and learning how to sing it with perfect pitch, breath support, rhythmic feel, articulation, all the parts that have to go into making it perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's say, here's the assignment. You go home, you work up 3 choruses of this tune. You learn how to sing it with all those perfections, and you sing it in front of people. Walk away from that one and write 3 more. And learn how to do that with perfect clarity, with perfect pitch, with perfect breath support. Learn how to sing that in front of people. Walk away. That's the kind of constructive effort, and as it happens, you'll put this library in your mind, and all the individual parts will sort themselves out and will come out when you need them the most over time. Lifetime experience. You're beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I'm talking so much. Imani Williams. Hello, Imani Williams.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Oh,
What are you going to sing for us, Imani Williams?
I will sing Sophisticated Lady.
I love that.
Glad.
Are you a sophisticated lady?
I am. I like to think so.
Okay. For how old are you?
19.
19. She's sophisticated for 19, folks.
Yeah.
They say into your early life romance came, and in this heart of yours burned a flame that flickered one day, then died away. Then, with disillusion deep in your eyes, you learn that fools in love soon grow wise. The years have changed you somehow. I see you now. Smoking, drinking, never thinking of tomorrow. Nonchalant, diamond shining, dancing and dining with some man in a restaurant. Is that all you really want? No. Sophisticated lady, I know you miss the love you lost long ago. And when nobody is nigh, you cry. smoking, drinking, and you're never thinking of tomorrow. Nonchalant, diamond shining, dancing and dining with some man in a restaurant. Is that all you really want? No. Sophisticated lady, I know you miss the love you lost, oh, so long ago. And when nobody is nigh, you cry.
All right. Again, really great, good singer. Jazz singers have, I think, perhaps the broadest set of possibilities in a way that we can get over with an audience. In terms of number of actual performance items that we can do. We can do a little bit of banter in between songs and be clever and whatnot and such like. But we can also do a spoken word thing right in the middle of any composition, should we feel the need. We can banter around with the musicians on the stand. We can get into a kind of reverie state and deliver a thing that nobody knows is going to be poetic until it's too late, and then they're in, and then you got them. We can scat, so we can improvise. We can improvise with words. We can improvise a brand new story over chord changes or without chord changes that we haven't even thought we were going to do yet, and the unconscious opens up, and here we are. We can do vocalists, where you take John Hendricks style lyric over something that Jug played, or Ben Webster played, or Dexter Gordon played, and we can sing what the great masters of improvisation played, but now with words. We can sing without words. We have the broadest. So, here we are, and we've got this magnificent story from long ago. This is one of the classic tales, Sophisticated Lady. You should have a very specific image in your mind as you tell this story of this person. She's smoking. She's still smoking. She's smoking, and she's smoking. Because it couldn't be the part of the story if it wasn't that. Then you'd say, oh, she's just visiting. Cocktail, right? You've got the picture in your mind, right? This is the kind of picture with the neon in the distance, and she's got the 1940s hair, right? See what? Yeah, right? We all have this kind of picture. But for it to be effective as a performing moment, it can't be in your picture. You have to inhabit it. You have to either become the person who's pointing her out to the audience, painting such a picture that even if they've never heard the song before, that's what they have in their mind. You put it there. Or you become that person. So again, here was the arm, right? For probably half of it was here was the arm. How do we learn what to do with our hands if it's not going to be this or this? Oh. Well, there are three ways to attack that problem and to take on the storytelling aspect by using your hand. We'll talk about your face as a separate thing. But let's just talk about your hands for a minute. Here we are. They say that in your early life, romance came. I'm in a different key, I know. And in your tender heart burned a flame. Now that's a very literal thing. But for anybody who hasn't heard the song before, if you do it right, that could be a pretty effective way to start. Have you done any acting?
Yes.
Okay, when you're acting, the director tells you what to do with your hands and your feet and whatever. They block a thing. Block yourself as an actor. At first, you're going to need to make things conscious that later on you'll be able to take for granted. Same thing with compositional thinking over the course of a lifetime. First, you make it conscious, you work on it, you attack it, you deal with it. Then it can become unconscious later, and you can revisit it whenever you want. Same thing with acting out a song. You must make conscious to yourself, conscious choices. What will I do with my hands when I sing that in your early life romance came and in your tender heart burned a flame? Now, tell me the story without singing. You got two beautiful hands. Tell me the story in an acty kind of a way. They say, tell me the story.
They say, in your early life, romance came. And in this heart of yours burned a flame that flickered one day and died.
Okay, so a bunch of good ideas. A flame that flickered one day and died away. If you were to watch yourself deliver the first part, here's what you did first. They say that in your early life, well, that doesn't really tell me anything. Yeah. Right on? Blocking yourself with specific things. Here's another hint. You've got the piano. You got Miguel here. You've got the chanteuse vibe. You're going to tell a story that takes place in a place where there's probably somebody singing, leaning against the piano, right? And I also noticed, and this is a musical thing. Brother he just started playing. You sort of said you agreed, and then he went into time, and you went with it. But really, this whole first section is rubato. This whole first section is not really doesn't have to be in time, and it's an opportunity for you to tell the story, show that you're not directing, but indicating how the song is going to go, that you're in charge of the experience as the performer, as the lead performer, to be musical with it, and also to give your hands something to do. Dig it. Step over here just a little quick second. They say that in your early life romance came, and in your tender heart burned a flame. All right, so there's basically three things. I've got this, I guess, and this. And each one of them are giving him downbeats of where he's going to place it. So it's giving him information that he's going to want. It's giving you something to do with your hands, and it's helping you tell the story. Dig it? Conscious blocking, musical blocking. And then, when you get to the place where it's time to go into time, but I see you now, I see you smoking, drinking, never thinking of tomorrow, right? So here you are, your attention is totally focused on the crowd, but you're conducting the orchestra in a sly, professional way that's going to get them to respect you, because like, oh damn, she knows what she's doing. She's landed on us, and she's also getting the thing happening, and she's telling us the story. So come over here in the little time we have. So I want you to take that first section again, the rubato section. I want you to hold the microphone in this hand. Now you no longer have this. Now you have this. Now there's a reason. And because the orchestra's like, yeah, lean if you want, but you got to dig it. Yeah.
Okay.
See how far up my... Now, you're going to have weight on your elbow, because Miguel's got to see what it is. Okay. Sure, no. So you and don't pretend you've never played with her before, and you can't play until she tells you.
They say
They say
They say into your early life romance came, and in this heart of yours burned a flame.
I know we're running a lot of time. So now, the same thing with every chord, but instead of just this repeating over and over, think of the lyric. Heart of yours. Because every gesture he's going to watch every gesture. Heart of yours.
From the top.
Sure.
They say into your early life romance came, and in this heart of yours burned a flame, a flame that flickered one day, then died away.
Again, we don't have that much time, but that's the idea. So you've got to make things visible to people, conscious to yourself. And over time, what can and should, and I suspect will happen, is that the gestures you make conscious to help tell the story, to help lead the ensemble, they will become second nature to you. And you won't need, at first you'll need to do more than you feel comfortable with. As in so many things in life, you need to do too much to know when is enough. And for it to be cemented into your habit. I used to all the time, all kind of rigmarole and stuff, right? And now I don't have to do that much of anything. Because why? Because of these baby blues. Because now they say that in your early life romance came, and in that tender heart burned a flame that flickered and died away. Right? So much happening here that I don't need as much here. But for now, you need to do this. Yeah? Great. Thank you. Next, we have Sloane Crawford, who is going to lay it on us.
Yes,
How are you, Sloane?
Very good.
All right.
Trying to get my jazz on, Miss Bobby.
I'm going to ask, could you do Don't Get Around Much? Okay, of the two. Because we just had a slow.
Okay. Grab, just give it
Don't worry about it. Come on.
Sloane is obviously Irish.
Oh, don't worry about it. Okay. Oh, yes, green, yes.
Missed the Saturday dance, heard they crowded the floor, couldn't bear it without you, don't get around much anymore, thought I'd visit the club, got as far as the door, they'd have asked me about you, don't get around much anymore. Well, darling, I guess my mind's more at ease, but nevertheless, why stir up old memories? Been invited on dates, might have gone, but what for?
don't get around much anymore. Thought I'd visit the club. I got as far as the door. If they'd have asked me about you, Daddy, don't get around much anymore. Well, darling, I guess my so but nevertheless, so on days might have gone, but what for? It's awfully different without you. Don't get around much anymore.
Okay, so dealing with here's a good opportunity to talk more about how this singer deals with the orchestra. So, in the first place, never apologize through your actions for counting off the band. Sometimes the count off is the most exciting part of the whole experience. Dig it. I want you to play in a manner that, so if we just met each other and I said, don't get around much anymore, and I say, right? So there's one. Now dig it. What if I did this? What if I did? All the stuff you can get done just with the count off. I have a collection of count offs, of recordings of cats counting tunes off. Sometimes it's so much better than the music. Sometimes it's real exciting the way they count off because anything can happen, right? So everything that happens on stage is part of the musical experience for the audience. Everything that happens from the time you walk in the door and you make your presence known in your fabulous green dress, it's all it, man. You are on stage the whole time. So anything that's about not unless there's a musical reason to do that. So here we've got this flippant little thing that's kind of corny if you don't play it right. Don't get around much anymore, right? So first I want you to, and also, you were sort of thinking you were going to give her another 4 measures up top or something.
Okay. So what happened is we had a different intro, and then right before the start of this, she asked us to do something different.
All of which is fine.
Yeah.
However, listening to your band, if you would have listened, you would have known that he had another thing happening, and that it was sort of a minor train wreck. Again, just from experience, never apologize for a count off. Don't worry if a little bit more stuff that doesn't involve you happens before you start singing. That's cool. That's an opportunity to show, just be. Right? You know. You're in the dress, right? What do you have to do? Just be. Right? So count it off, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to, we're not going to, neither one of us is going to know how long the intro is. And you figure out, and then you just listen. And be, and then come in at the right place. So count it off, listen, be, sing.
Miss the Saturday day.
Okay, so great, but be more.
Okay.
See, you're it's great, you're listening, but you can't be in your head so, you can never be in your head so much that you're okay, and now I got it. You're telegraphing your confusion.
Okay.
You're telegraphing that you're not fully ready to deal.
Okay.
Count it off again.
Miss the Saturday dance.
Again, there was a little bit of just.
Yeah.
Here's people.
Mm-hmm.
You engage them even before you sing. You count it. You say, "Hey, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4." With a nice smile, the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Then you got some. Now the performance is already happening.
Okay.
Now it's already happening. From right from he starts playing and you just oh, it's gonna happen.
Okay.
Right?
All right. All right.
What's your, I don't know what your key is. See,
Miss the
No,
There's no do-overs. There's no do-overs.
This is just experience. It's just experience doing it so many times. It's exactly what we're talking about. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Also, so put that idea in your head because we only got 3 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think this also might not be the best key for you. It's
Yeah.
because you're having to really push on the lower end of the thing, and we're missing a little bit of it. Can we move this up by what are we in now?
G.
Can we put it in? Let's. Christ. Well, A flat's not going to do it enough. I think she needs it. Yeah, try it there. Is that too high?
Too high. Too high.
Too high?
Too high.
All right, A flat.
Miss the Saturday dance.
She's got that.
You want that?
Okay, that will do it. Can I count? Can I count?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2. Miss the Saturday dance. Heard they crowded the floor. Couldn't bear it without you.
Okay, so there's 2 things. Now the third thing is the overall stylistic aspect of what you've got going. You have so much more R&B inflection in what you're doing than jazz inflection. Darling, I guess my mind's more at ease. Nevertheless, you got to go back and you got to listen to how Ella sang it, and how Sarah Vaughan sang it, and anybody else in the actual jazz world, and cop that if you're going to sing as a jazz singer. There's too many people, because this is a hint for you to get more work. There are already plenty of people doing R&B inflected jazz tunes. There are not enough people doing jazz tunes as a jazz singer. So you'll get more work if you leave you'll get more work as a jazz singer if you leave the R&B stuff in the back seat and you put jazz in the front seat.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
One more thing before we split, and it's the ending. Okay, don't get around. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to put in a single turnaround. Are we in the new key now?
We need to go to the new code.
Don't get around much anymore. That's totally better. Awfully different without you. Don't get around much anymore. Right? So one time, and then you do the ending. Take it from what's the last A section? Whatever the lyric is there.
Been invited on dates.
That's the one. And here's the thing. Don't just rush through thought would have gone, but what for? Would have gone, but what for? You got to put a little break in there so they can hear the whole lyric. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Been invited on dates. Might have gone, but what for?
without you, don't get around much anymore.
Yeah. So work up what you're going to do at that point with one turnaround, and decide consciously: is the big part in the turnaround, or is it at the end?
Okay.
Yeah. And with your hand, signal to Miguel, we're going to do a turn, and then this. Yeah. Okay. We'll work on it together. Beautiful. Good singing.
Thank you.
All right. And now we have Isaiah Harris.
Hey.
Unless it's Isaiah.
Isaiah, yeah.
All right.
What's up, man?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So, the
And you got some Jobim or softly.
softly.
Whatever you feel, Dad.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, so left hand. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Softly as in a morning sunrise, the light of love comes stealing into a newborn day, flaming with all the glow of sunrise. A burning kiss is sealing the vow that all betray, for the passions that thrill love and lift you high to heaven are the passions that kill love and let you fall to hell. So end each moment softly as in a morning sunrise. The light that gave you glory will take it all away. Way up. For the passions that thrill love and lift you high to heaven are the passions that kill love and let you fall to hell. So end each moment softly as in a morning sunrise. The light that gave you glory will take it all away. We'll take it all away. We'll take it all away.
All right, so everything that we said before still stands. If you feel, so here's what you're doing a lot of. You look, singing, sort of checking in.
Yeah.
But he's going to play the changes. He's going to play them whether you're looking at him or not. If you feel that you want more eye contact with him or more just contact, step on back and make it a thing where it's this. You don't have to, because where you are on the stage doesn't declare whether you're performing or not, or whether you're delivering or not. You're delivering wherever you are. When I did my thing, I backed up over to here and we had our thing going and I gave him a couple of signs for things. I moved around. The whole stage is yours. You don't have to be, okay, I'm here and if I need something, I have to, You can just back it on up. It's all yours. And then you have that confidence. Here's a little game we're going to play. This is called displacement, melody displacement. You're going to sing, so you know the lyrics. I'm going to trust that you know the lyrics
Gotcha.
well enough that you're going to sing the lyrics in the right order, but I'm not going to let you place those lyrics where they usually go. And here's how. You're only going to sing when I'm pointing to you.
Right.
So, for instance, I'll pretend I'm me and you at the same time. 2, 3, 4. Well, because they're all the same. Okay. I'm waiting for the bridge. I should approach it at the bridge. Softly as in a morning sunrise, the light of heaven. So we're in the bridge.
I play the bridge?
You play the bridge,
Got it.
and I'll sing the regular melody.
Right.
Not the regular melody. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is it? It's softly as in a morning sunrise
The light of love comes stealing
into the darkest.
into the newborn day.
Okay, see, it's been a while. Softly as in a morning sunrise, the light of
Light of love.
love comes stealing into the
Newborn day.
newborn day.
Gotcha.
Your points.
At the bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4. Softly, as in a morning sunrise, the light of love comes stealing into the darkest day. Right? You're going to be lucky because the A sections all can do the thing without having to worry about it. But when you get to the bridge, you're going to get messed up. So I'm warning you now. Do you
Okay.
dig it?
Yeah.
So we're going to start at the top of the first A, but you're not going to sing the lyrics. Then you're going to have to make a new melody
Right.
because of where I put it.
Right. So for the A, the no lyrics.
Nope, for the A, lyrics from you,
Right.
but only when I point to you.
Gotcha.
Everything in order.
I'm here.
We'll do it a little slower. One, top. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Softly as in a morning sunrise,
That's the idea.
the light of love comes stealing into a newborn day.
There you
Okay.
The love that gave you glory. Softly as in a morning sunrise, a burning kiss is stealing. The vow that all betray.
go. Yeah, there's a good idea right there, for sure. So, it's a way to trick yourself into singing something that you would never sing otherwise. Your brain is smarter than you think, musically speaking. And again, it takes us back to the idea of going with the impetuous, intuitive gestures that happen on their own from your intuition, listening back to them, and analyzing them, and making conscious choices about what would have been a better idea, the right pitches. What would you sing in an ideal world?
Okay.
So, this is why one of the things is, in jazz, you do the first verse, the melody straight, more or less, and then the next one, you depart from it and you do some interpretation of it, and then maybe you scat, or then maybe you throw it to somebody else, or then you tell a story, or whatever it is that you're going to do. That way you're showing yourself and the audience what the actual melody is. Then you're saying, okay, and here's the way I feel about it, this way over here. I interpret it this way.
Right.
And then I move on to this thing over here. Right? So take the time, and different compositions are going to have different levels of difficulty with this. Here, basically, you could sing the regular melody over almost any portion of the A section and have it work, just because of the way it's structured. Anytime you displace it, it could still be 2, 3, 4. Sa de 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 si de baby de. 90% of it's going to play over any portion of that A section, right?
Okay.
Other tunes aren't going to work that way. So this might be a good place to start because then you have a lot more freedom and you're not going to mess up as many times until you get to the bridge,
Yeah.
right? But displace the whole, so just displace everything, maybe by 2 measures or by 3 measures. So many, same thing happens in scatting. We will all fall into habits of where we start ideas. If I'm in 5, I tend to start things, especially if the band is really hitting it, on the downbeat of a 5-beat measure. Why? It's just comfortable. So that's a cliche for me. The idea for me as a 50-year-old man is now to overcome any cliches that I've created and to create new cliches for myself. That means I'm always reaching out for something. I'm always trying to leave something behind that I've done already. You want to leave behind, you want to lock in the stuff that you do well and then push towards stuff that you don't yet do well. That's a big deal.
Big deal.
Nice singing, Isaiah.
Thank you.
My man. I want you to do one more thing before we split, and that is to end the song. Just the last A. Get to the darkest day, into the darkest day. And then couple 3 turnarounds, but you signal, and then you sing the ending.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Surprise me.
Gotcha.
Last A.
Softly, as in an evening sunset, the light that gave you glory will take it all away. We'll take it all away. We'll take it all away. We'll take it all away. I don't know. Just try something, but yeah. Try myself. Cool. Appreciate somebody wants this.
Thank you, Miguel. What time are we supposed to be done? I'll do whatever I'm told. I'm sure we got time for a question or two, yeah? If there are any. If there aren't, I'll just head to the bar.
Oh, goodness, you would make it way back there, wouldn't
Go ahead, darling.
you? No, it has to be
Oh, wait,
recorded,
she got to have the
sorry.
microphone because of the
Where was that hand?
thousands of people watching at home, the myriad across the planet.
Hello,
Yes.
hello. Yes, I followed your career and your background, Kurt, astounding musician. But I remember reading that you studied in a seminary and then you made a transition. Do you see any type of connection with the spirituality and the heart and where you're coming from as an artist?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's all a part of me. I mean, that's part of the point of maturation. It's whatever the artist brings to the table from childhood, from memories, from memories of not yet being born, from things that your grandmother sang to you, from stuff that happened. Whatever it is that's of deep meaning for you is going to be that which comes into the music that you're going to offer up for people. So I mean, sure, there's always stuff that's there. I don't always know what to make of it, which is probably, normal. Nobody knows what to make of anything anymore. Yeah, it's all in there. I think if you were to read if you read my lyrics, there's always spiritual aspects of things, some of which are more mysterious and some of which are a little bit more explicit. It's who I am. Here I am, trying to sing good.
You're incredible. There's now colleges that are offering jazz programs, but then, if you will, you learned on the street. You learned in the scene itself. Is there a balance to be achieved between those two things?
Sure, it's whatever balance it is that you find. It's the road that you're going down. There's no one road. There's just the road, and your questions are going to be slightly different from mine, just like your gifts are going to be different from mine, and your memories are going to be different from mine. The point is not which way should a person go, it's whichever way, the question is which way you should go. And an honest evaluation of your strengths and challenges, of the opportunities in front of you, and the road that you've already been down, and of your desire and the depth of your desire is going to be what helps you answer those questions. If you want something enough, you'll figure out whatever answers there are. And keep in mind, there may not be one set of answers even for you. There will just be the answers that you find as you continue to go toward that which you desire. Does that make sense?
One more?
Hello. I was speaking, I guess, on the road and challenges and pitfalls that you've endured. What was your largest challenge starting out as a musician?
Well, I didn't grow up doing jazz stuff at all. I grew up doing church music and classical stuff. So there was a whole wealth of information that I had to come to terms with that felt at the time like it was very late in the game. But I wanted it so much, and I was living in a basement apartment for $150 a month. You know, one room with a drum set and a keyboard and a, futon fold-out thing and a hot plate. So I didn't really have anything to lose. So I just gave it all I could. I mean, that seemed like a huge challenge at the time, just starting from it felt like less than zero. But in retrospect, I know now that I had a voice that was going to be pliable enough and an imagination that was going to apprehend certain kinds of things. And whatever other gifts there are that I had as a starting place, and it didn't really matter that I was broke and totally unknown. Now I'm not as broke, and I'm, moderately known. And it still feels like a success, because I get to sing what I want on a given night, and I get to be the person I was hoping to be when I finally figured that out. All right, thanks everybody. Miguel de la Lucena. My name's Kurt Elling, thanks.